Our job as Christians is to let the light shine, but also resist evil. So you're a salt and light.
And I care about the next generation. This is our watch.
Yeah.
This is our turn to speak up and to stand up.
Contact each of your candidates individually. They are more than happy to answer your questions before the election because they actually want your vote. And so even just an email, set out your questions and really carefully and prayerfully consider who you're going to vote for.
This was always going to happen. These anti-discrimination laws are entirely about one thing: undermining our Western Christian civilization and promoting any minority group that will do that. It is no surprise that this occurs. This is the purpose.
People who should be concerned about the future of Western civilization, of Judeo-Christian culture, because ultimately that's what's at stake here. We are in a great period of time at the moment that will be recorded in the history books.
That's right.
And it will be either the make or break of our civilization.
The courage is contagious. When one person does it, many people feel that they are able to do it. And so we need people who will stand even publicly and make these cases and be clear about the truth, because the more rapidly we silence ourselves, the more rapidly we will be silenced.
Senator Pauline Hanson, thank you for sitting down to chat with me.
I think Paul Keating was right when he referred to the Senate as unrepresentative swill. I think there are...
You can always trust Paul for some colour.
Well, until recently, I think, we used to get through a lot of difficult debates in the public sphere in Australia with a lot of humour.
Once someone is conceived inside a womb, then there's another entity that needs to be protected.
Yes.
So we need to protect the mother. We also need to protect the new life.
So look, I mean, it sounds good, Andrew. We've been there, we've done that. We do have the countries that have gone exactly down the path you're suggesting, and we see that they're failed, every single one. None of them has kept to their so-called safeguards. People are fleeing the countries, there's abuse. Sorry, Andrew, it doesn't work.
And for people to say that Jesus was not political, it makes me laugh, because they obviously didn't understand what the political environment was in Jesus' time. Yeah. If Jesus did anything, was he confronted the political realm very clearly. I'm glad to hear you say that, very clearly. And it's a common misconception. I just tear my hair out when people say that.
Yeah.
Read it again.
Very much so. Number one, we as Christians have got to have our spirit provoked within us.
Yes.
And that's got to drive us, where we look around what's happening in the world. There's got to be something that provokes us in our spirit. We then need to be able to step up into that arena.
Absolutely.
But it comes out of, our spirit's got to be provoked within us.
Go back to your church. When anything like this comes up, tell your people all about it, all the bad reasons about it and why it's no good for the society.
Excellent.
Then tell them to write to their politicians.
I think the churches have gone too quiet on pushing back against some of these changes. Safe schools, for instance, is an abomination in terms of church and other teachings, and the church, I would have hoped, would be more active in opposing that program. I fear that the church has been quiet and maybe intimidated by some of the tactics in the debate about gay marriage. So another example of where they could play a bigger role. I mean, it's all hands on deck. We are in a culture war. There's been a march through our institutions to fundamentally change Australian values and attitudes, and we've all got to push back against this. I say this as someone, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a member of a church, but I recognise the values of the church as a civilising force in our society, and I would hope that the church would be more active instead of becoming part of a silent majority. The church is too silent on these things and needs to make a stand.